Well, greetings and g'day and welcome to another LeaderBite, where today we're going to be talking about my reframing called the Big Four Boost. And this has been taken from some positive psychology reports I've been reading and a couple of books by Neil Pasricha and some other psychologists that I've read around how can you as a leader, how can we as individuals be most effective at what we do in the workplace specifically. And the first thing that I love to talk about, because I'm a big fan of it, is this idea of movement. All right, so there's my attempt at drawing myself. I should probably put the arms and then some movement things there, because what we know is that exercise obviously gets the blood flowing, but exercise reverses the depression we can get in our jobs. And when I say that, we're all really good at what we do in front of our computers, but to actually stand up and physically move causes some reactions in our bodies that, look at those lips, that actually drive us to be more effective. So as a leader, how can you encourage your team to move? And I'm not suggesting that you start aerobics classes in the boardroom, but I'm saying, could you do team walks if you're together? Could you actually stand up from the boardroom and have standing meetings, which scientifically proven actually cause the meeting to go a lot faster when you're standing versus sitting? When you're on the phone, if you work in a virtual team, perhaps you could actually take walks on a Friday to catch up together, where you can get the blood flowing to reverse what the psychologists are saying happens when you sit down in a sedentary, which is just like popping a depressant pill and making you more depressed at what you do. So the number one big four boost is to move. Number two is something that I've also tried to really put into what I do on a daily basis, which is to show this idea of not necessarily love, but this idea of kindness. How are you intentionally showing the love, showing the kindness to those that work for you, with you, and around you? Do you intentionally tell people that you appreciate them? And that could happen in an email, but something that I've done intentionally is I've created these own little kind of note cards that I can send to people that I'm thankful for helping me get where I needed to go in my job. And we all know that receiving something physical like a note card is a lot more appreciated, should I say, than just receiving a thank you email, especially in this technology world. Speaking of which, so if that's number two, if that's the big boost number two, the big boost number three is this. Number three is this idea of unplugging. Okay, unplugging from your technology. How as a team, how as a leader do you unplug from your work? And we know that, and the studies that I've read have showed that we can get really, really good at what we do, but we're not very, very good at detaching from what we do. And therefore we can't build ourselves up and we can't build others up because we're not rescuing ourselves from consistently being plugged in. And there are a number of different methods, and I could probably spend a whole new LeaderBite talking about how to unplug, from the drive or the train ride home to being even in a meeting and becoming more present with the folks that are presenting in the meeting. So have a great discussion with your team on this as we move into our fourth big boost, which is one of my favorites as well, this idea of flow. So we know that if you match your skill, okay, against challenges, if the skill and the challenge is too much, it causes us to become anxious. If the skill and the challenge are too little, it becomes us, or it chooses and encourages us to become bored at what we're working with. So the idea is to find this sweet spot right here in the middle so that you can find your flow as an individual or as an individual or a leader on your team. So what are you doing to match the skills on your team against the challenges to find that beautiful flow or sweet spot in the middle? There's four big boosts for you to talk about as a team this week. Sit down with your team, choose one and be intentional. And we're hoping that this could be something that you and your team could chew on as we lead into next week's LeaderBite.